What's going on, guys? It's me, your Airliner fan HT here, and today we have another newsletter from Airliners International 2025. Super excited to get into today's video. We just recently got a new newsletter. This could be like the third newsletter I'm going to be covering for Airliners International 2025, which is less than 30 days away. And this main focus is going to be on the tours because they just opened up just recently. So, as of recording, this newsletter in particular just came out today, which is 1:03 p.m. So basically 10 hours ago. I'm recording around 11:17 in the evening on Saturday, May 24th. So, as usual, I'm going to be going over like the paragraphs that are going to be listed here, and I'll be like fully analyzing them and giving you guys a breakdown. So, of course, you got your banner right there. Airliners International 2025 ATL, June 25th to the 28th in Atlanta, Georgia. It'll celebrate their 48th year, the world's largest annual airline history conference and collectible show. And let's get started. Oh, also their website is right there. So let's get started with our first paragraph from this page. It says, "Our favorite time of the year is next month. Your AI 2025 team of Bill, Layla, and Chris is busy getting ready to welcome you to Atlanta. Please see below our latest updates." And here's our first paragraph right there that talks about that. "Our hotel special rates expire on May 28th from the Renaissance and June 2nd for the Kimpton. There are a few rooms left at the Renaissance. Check each day individually to see availability. We'll be running a frequent shuttle bus from the Renaissance and every 30 to 40 minutes from the Kimpton." So, as mentioned on this paragraph, the room rates for the Renaissance will expire on May 28th. So, this is coming out on a Monday, so you only have like 2 days left before those expire. But as for the Kimpton, that expires next month, June 2nd. So that's on a Monday of next week. So yeah, you gotta like book these room rates now if you're kind of like running a little short on time, because like they're gonna be gone after those due dates. So might as well book those right now. Otherwise, you won't get that special room rate when you go to Atlanta on the Renaissance or Kimpton. Now, as for like the shuttle buses, they'll be running frequently around the Renaissance, but I think if you're staying in the Kimpton, then every 40 minutes, because I'm not sure if they're gonna have like the bus go from the Renaissance to the Kimpton and back, or kind of like something like one bus goes to one hotel and one bus goes to the other hotel. But unlike Kansas City, the second hotel was close to the Hilton. But as for this one, the Kimpton is a lot farther than the Renaissance. So yeah, it's going to be a lengthy drive for the bus driver to get from one hotel to the other. But as mentioned before, make sure to get those room rates in right now, because they're going to be gone before you know it. Anyways, so moving on to the second paragraph. This is just a short paragraph. We still have a few tables available. You can see the layout here and the table holders list here. So I think I did mention on the announcement video about the layout, so I do want to pull that up again to give you guys a rundown of it. So here is the latest layout for the Airliners International 2025 convention in the Delta Flight Museum. So you got the Spirit of Delta 762 right there, and then you can see all the island tables and your wall tables right there. So you got a row of wall tables right there, a row of wall tables right there, a row of wall tables surrounding the 767, and then a few island tables which are located right there. And over here, there's like a big layout of island tables that are located close to the entrance right there. So this is where you enter the Delta Flight Museum right there. Now, as for like the table holders list, you can see a full list of them. So yeah, really nice assortment. I see Texan Airplane Store, so Nicholas is going to be there. There's DG Pilot, West Coast Diecast, so Dan's going to be there also. Super excited to see some newer retailers like NV400 models. I was think they never went to Airliners, so this could be their debut here for Atlanta. And as for like this person with like Tarmac Designs and Jet Set models will also be there too. You got David with his photographs, and then all the various like aircraft model stuff, safety cards, and postcards. But sky's the limit. Aircraft models, rows 1 to 20. That guy, that is an insane number of island tables, or just like tables he booked just to display that many models. So let me just zoom in closer. Yeah, like you got 20 tables. That is absolutely crazy right there. So sky's the limit. That is insane. And then as you can see the total tables. So there's a total of 261 tables. There are a total of 71 wall tables and 190 island tables. Currently, all island tables, well, as of late, all of the island tables are sold out, but you only got a few wall tables left, which is just 4. So, yeah. But as you can see, I believe Slimmerville is somewhere over here. I just don't know where. But I know Chris should have a table at some point. So that is like all the various like table holders list right there. And yeah. And as you can see, you gotta email them if you want to book a table. So email us to book your tables at Airliners 2025 in ATL. Parking is very limited at the Delta Flight Museum on Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays, as the majority of parking around the museum is used by Delta's headquarters during the weekdays. Please use hotel parking and our show shuttles. We will send out detailed parking hints on our next email. So stay tuned for the next Airliners International email or the newsletter that they're going to be posted within the next couple of weeks or so. But yeah, like parking is very limited because I think during the weekdays, many of like I think it's mainly used by the Delta headquarters basically. So yeah, Thursday and Fridays when that's gonna happen. But Saturdays I think it's just open to everybody. But yeah, it's very limited because of that. But yeah, the hotels should be like providing some shuttle parkings. And yeah, so yeah, make sure to stay tuned for the latest details. Like the latest details on their next newsletter gonna be doing. So yeah. Moving on to the next paragraph. Most of the Delta Flight Museum parking will be reserved for accessible parking. Table holders, please utilize our box shops on Wednesday. So this is for like all the table holders who purchase some tables for the convention. If you're dropping off your table items Thursday, you'll be asked to unload it and return it to your vehicle to one of the hotel parking lots and rent via our shuttle. On Saturday, you'll be able to bring your vehicle all day to the Delta Flight Museum. There'll be a separate shipping, etc. email sent to you just to table holders next week. But yeah, this is just more on like vendor tables, like people who purchase vendor tables. It has been time consuming to confirm tours this year. Below is a description of the Airliners International 2025 tours, the tour schedules. To ensure all show attendees have a chance at our 6 limited space tours, there will be a lottery for those spaces. All tours are open to book now. For those tours chosen by lottery, select any of the tours today. All tours are open to book now. So yeah, as mentioned on this paragraph so far, the tours, I mentioned during the beginning of this video because the tours have just opened today. So yeah, they're gonna be interesting on what tours are gonna be there. But I think I mentioned about the tours on the previous newsletter. But for those tours chosen by lottery, select any of those tours today is just an entry in the lottery. See the rules at the end of the tour schedule. Again, we are sorry it has taken so long for this year. So, as explained by this paragraph, the Airliners Atlanta team took a very long time to do the tours. Now, I'm not sure if that has to do with like who's going to be the host of the tour or what is going on, but it did took them a long time to host the tours. And yeah, I think there has to be there's something going on why those tours were delayed. But at least we got the tours at least. And as for the lottery system, so how that works is basically you're not really gonna be like when you do this lottery system, like let me just explain. So the lottery system is kind of like, you know, like the lotteries you see, like you get a certain random number and that individual wins that specific number to earn like money or some stuff. It's kind of similar to that. So you basically like book an entry to one of the tours and they're gonna choose between like who's gonna be going on that tour and who's going to be on that tour. So don't expect too much on this tour. Like if you say book this specific tour on this specific time, who knows if you're gonna be on that tour? Who knows if you're actually gonna be on that tour or not? Or maybe like at some point. So they're kind of like selecting individuals I'm not sure if they're selecting individuals who booked the tour early, or they booked the tour and it's just like randomized. But who knows? But that's pretty much how the lottery system works on this one. So all in all, it's kind of like a 50-50 you'll get the tour slot or not. But yeah, I'll also show you the tours that are going to be listed. And here we go. So we just have our Saturday Night Banquet speaker right here on this paragraph. So let me read this to you. Also, we have confirmed our Saturday Night Banquet speaker, noted airline historian, and our great friend David H. Stringer will be presenting a perfect topic of an Atlanta convention. Nobody's second class on Southern, a look back at Southern Airways. A longtime Southern Airways employee, David will take us on a photo reminiscences of Atlanta-based local service airline that operated from 1949 until 1979 and now part of the Delta family. So there we go. We have confirmed our Saturday Night Banquet speaker, which will be David H. Stringer, and he is a former Southern Airways employee. So as you can see, and yeah, he's gonna be talking about the second class on Southern and just like a look back at the airline itself. But yeah, this is gonna be really cool. I'm super excited to see his presentations on his time with Southern Airways. Although that airline no longer exists anymore, I'm just super excited to see what a Southern Airways employee was like back during like the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. So looking forward to seeing him speak on the banquet this year for Airlines International. We'll be offering entertaining educational seminars on a wide range of topics in 2 separate locations this year. So I think there's one like theater room, I guess, in the ATL Delta Flight Museum, and the other one is in the 767 Spirit of Delta aircraft. Click here to see the list of our seminar speakers. All show attendees are welcome to attend the seminars free of charge. So as I pull up the website right there, so here are all your seminar speakers right there. So you got David Henderson with a picture history of commuter airlines of Georgia and Florida. So these are all the seminars that will be happening on Thursday. You got, who else is there that I know? I think, not sure if this is like a seminar, but it's the World Airline Historical Society. I guess it's just all about WAS. So this is kind of basically all about World Airline Historical Society. Now with these stars right there, those represent the seminars that are going to be held at the Spirit of Delta 762. And we got some really cool seminars that are going to be happening on Friday, June 27th. One individual, Tom Lisley, will show us a picture of like pilot's view from around the world, photos from 35,000 feet. So he'll be talking about, now I've seen Tom Lisley with his amazing photos, and he was also the welcome receptionist, like the person who presented all the Kansas City airlines from like airports from the Kansas City region, well, of course with all the planes. So Tom Lisley would have his seminar on the pilot's view of our world, of the photos that are captured at 35,000 feet. Guy Van Herberg will be doing the 44 years of the sky, the flying a tiger line. So I think there was a flying tiger line seminar in Kansas City last year. So I think this could be like the continuation of that, I guess. But yeah, there's that. One thing, or like one seminar I'm excited for, is the 12 o'clock p.m. seminar presented by Connor McCauley, or many of you guys know him as CM Aviation. 750 plus Gemini Jets models, sharing model aircraft collection on YouTube for 15 years. So CM Aviation is going to be having his own seminar. So of course he has a YouTube channel. I've been following his channel, and he's like one of my influencers of me collecting model airplanes. So it's really cool to see Connor have his own seminar. And yeah, he has made a huge presence for Airliners International, and it's really cool to see him do a seminar here. Noel Phillips will also be having a seminar just like similar to Airliners International 2023, but he's going to be talking about something different, as he's going to be talking about earning 1 million SAS miles. So Noel Phillips is going to be talking about how we earn 1 million Scandinavian Airlines miles. And as mentioned before, so Noel Phillips is going to be in a different seminar room. So I think it's in the theater room, but Connor's seminar is going to be held at the Delta Flight Museum. Joe Crawford is gonna be talking about like miles and all that stuff, and then Juan's Next Gen, and then for June 28th, here are all the lists of June, all like basically all the seminars that are gonna be happening on June 28th. So yeah, I know it kind of took a bit, but there's some really cool seminar speakers that are gonna be happening, especially with Friday seminars list. Of course, Tom Lipsy, Connor McCauley, Noel Phillips, Joe Crawford, and all the various like people who are gonna be presenting on those days. And yeah, that's it for pretty much all the paragraphs that I've been talking about. Thank you for your continued support for Airliners International. See you soon, your AI 2025 ATL team. So yeah, that's it for what I'm seeing here on this page, or this portion of this newsletter. Now we're gonna get into the tour descriptions. So, as mentioned before, and I know I said this numerous of, like just a few times, or like probably this is my third time I'm gonna mention it on this video, but the tours have opened up. I think they open up around like exactly 1 o'clock p.m. today, so local time here. So yeah, really cool right there. Might be different times for you, like for people living in the Midwest, it's like 3 o'clock there, but we do got our tours right there. So let's start off with some reading of like basically sentences. So we'll start here at the top. It says, due to the limited capacity of our ATL ramp, Delta Tech Ops, and Delta Training Center tours, we'll be running a lottery of spaces on these tours. See the lottery tour rules at the bottom of our tour schedule. So, as you can see, so here are the tours that are going to be listed here. So, of course, we're going to start off with the ATL ramp tour. I bet many of you guys are really going for this one because of how really cool it is. Because, like, I've seen the videos of the DFW ramp tour. You get to, like, travel by bus and then you can plane spot there. So, that's really cool. So, it's kind of like giving you a tour of the ramp. And this is like the bus tour of the ATL ramp, excuse me. And as for the restrictions, there are a total of 25 attendees per tour. Ages 8 to 18 are allowed with adult escorts, must provide date of birth beforehand, bring a government-issued ID with you on the tours as you will be processed through TSA screening, only cameras and purses allowed on the tour, no backpacks or bags allowed. Tour participants will not be allowed off the bus as well. So, kind of like self-explanatory. So, that's like basically a ramp tour in a nutshell. You don't need a bag, just a cameras and a purse, but you have to go through TSA screening because you're entering airport grounds. So, yeah. But if you're ages 8 to 18, then an adult escort is required. And of course, you need to bring a government-issued ID like a driver's license, passport, or anything, some sort of documentation, and of course you need your date of birth beforehand, so you need to do that, of course. The next tour I'm going to be talking about is the Delta or the Atlanta Air Exchange. Now it's kind of like similar to Jet Midwest in a way, but it's kind of like, I'm not really quite sure about this particular tour, but it is an aircraft boneyard in Griffins, Georgia. So yeah, that's, again, kind of like similar to Jet Midwest. Jet Midwest is basically like an airplane boneyard within the Kansas City International Airport, but the Atlanta Air Exchange is a boneyard that's like in Griffin, Georgia. Now, I'm not sure how far that is from the ATL airports, and yeah, with this boneyard, it handles private propelled aircraft and small business jets. No tow shoes are permitted, and certain aircrafts are prohibited to be photographed. The tour guides will provide instructors. Please honor the restrictions. There is a minimum of 12 attendees required to operate that tour, and then you have a maximum of 20 attendees. Griffin is approximately 1 hour. I was gonna like talk about this because I was unsure how far it is, but Griffin is approximately 1 hour. It's a 1 hour drive from ATL. Total tour time including the travel, is 3 hours and 3.5 hours basically. Your tour prices include an Airliner Air Exchange t-shirt. So that's really cool on how they're giving those away after you've attended the tours, but I do want to take a look at their website. So yeah, as you can see, this is like their website. We buy surplus inventory and corporate aircraft in any condition. So it kind of feels like Jet Midwest in a way, but it's more on like propeller and jet engine business jets. So you can see a picture right there, and then you can see all like the various like companies that have those. So Embraer, Mitsubishi, Pilatus, Beechcraft, Piper, Bombardier, Learjet, and then all the various like stuff right there. So yeah, here's the website. Here's their inventory. So you can see all the various like parts right there, and Pratt and Whitney's and stuff, and like all your various like Cessna's services right there. So yeah, that's kind of like, so basically it's almost similar to Jet Midwest in a way. Next up, we have the Museum of Aviation, which is located in Warner Robins, Georgia. A self-guided tour of the 4 buildings and over 80 aircraft, including the SR-71, at this world-class military aviation museum. The museum is 100 miles south of ATL. Traffic depending this tour should be around 5 hours to see the museum. There are limited drinks, etc. available at the museum, but no food services. You are welcome to bring your own lunch. Under 18, of course, under 18 allowed a adult escort. Minimum of 20 participants for the tour operation. So, yeah, I was looking into like the website about the Museum of Aviation, and they got some really amazing stuff. Like they got, and I think one of them's an F4. There's a B-52. There's like some really rare military planes that are also displayed there, but. Yeah, it's a really cool tour, but I believe like I might pass this one because this is gonna be, because I did check on the tours and I believe there's only one tour that's only scheduled only on a Wednesday, and I have a feeling it might interfere some people who want to like book the Ram tour for ATL. So that's kind of like something that I need to like think about. But yeah, that's the Aviation Museum, the Museum of Aviation in Warner Robins, Georgia, which houses over 80 military planes. Next up, you have the Commemorated Air Force, Air Base, Georgia, a bus trip to the Falcon Field in Peachtree City, Georgia, to tour the aircraft of Air Base, Georgia. Tour the 10 flyable aircraft and museum of Air Base, Georgia. It is possible to purchase rides to the museum planes, but you have to click on this link, if you want to fly on them. So as you can see, you can fly a North American P-51, a Douglas SB-5 Dauntless, North American Mosquito LT-6, a Beech T-34 Mentor, and a Fairchild PT-19A. And yeah, look at the prices. I mean, makes sense on why these prices are like that, but personally for me, I don't think it's really in my priority. But for those people who love World War II planes and you have enough money to book those planes, then I'll say go ahead. I think there's a lot of seniors out there who are gonna take a chance on doing that. But yeah. Next up, we have the Delta Airlines Flight Training Center, and it basically tours the pilot training facility for Delta Airlines. Ages 18. Okay, so like of course ages 18 are allowed to be having an adult escort. Must provide all that. So kind of like mentioned before on the Delta Ram tour, you need to be having an adult escort if you're age 8 to 18. You must provide a date of birth, and then you need to bring in a government issued ID to pass through all the various like security checks. That same goes for the Delta Flight Training Center and the Delta Airlines Tech Operations as well. And there should be a total of 8 attendees per tour, so that's for the Delta Flight Training Center, and there will be a total of 25 attendees for the Delta Tech Ops. Next up, we have the Delta Airlines Museum, like the Delta DC-3 tour on the Delta Flight Museum. Tour the immaculately restored DC-3 displayed inside the Delta Flight Museum. White glove introduction and tour of the Delta Flight Museum DC-3. 15 attendees per tour. Tour fees will be donated to the Delta Flight Museum for their historical preservation efforts. And as mentioned before, you need to be having an adult escort if you're age 18. This is actually really cool. You're touring a very old airplane like a Delta Airlines DC-3. And they're kind of giving you like a guided tour almost on this particular plane. They're going to talk about the history of this aircraft and how they're able to restore that. I might see if I might go for this tour because it will be really cool to learn pretty much the history of like a specific aircraft for this particular airline. So it's going to be interesting right there. Next up, and this is not really counted as a tour. I'm not sure why is it listed there, but you have the Delta Flight Museum 737-200 Flight Simulator, and yeah, that's there. Use of CAE 737-200 full motion flight simulator for up to 4 people. Now this is kind of like a downside to like the flight simulator, because the flight simulator itself, in order to use that, you need to pay $425, and yeah, $425 for up to 4 people for 1 hour. Click this link or call the museum at this phone number to book your flight. So yeah, I personally thought with this tour, I thought they were gonna drop down the price, because it's like you're like a attendee of Airliners International and they wanted to like lower the price that can make it more affordable to all attendees. However, they ended up sticking the price they would basically do for most, like most everyday hours for the Delta Flight Museum, which is $425. Honestly, I think that's impractical. Like, in my opinion, I think that's a money waster if I'm gonna be like buying some aviation memorabilia, models, postcards, or anything. So I don't think I'll go for the chance of this Delta 737-200 simulator. But it will be cool though, that is, if they ended up dropping the price. Like, maybe like if you want to like use that Delta Flight Museum simulator, then maybe drop it down to like $60 to $80. That way it can be more affordable to everyone, so everybody can get the chance to use it. But here is the link that I'm going to be pulling up right now of the 737 simulator. So here it is right there. Well, this is like the older rendition of the like Delta Flight Museum before the renovations they did, and it opens daily from 9 a.m., 10:30, 12 p.m., and 1:30 p.m. And you need to be age 16 or older, and it's for up to 400, like 1 to 4 people. I mean, it says it's 460, but still, like, I think that's like the everyday price, $460. But for all the Airliners International attendees, they drop it down to $425, which I think that's still a lot. It's still a lot of money if you're like comparing that, and yet you're buying models and aviation memorabilia as well. So that's kind of like basically all my budget in one go, basically. So I'll just pass on that one. And as for like the other extra notes right there, okay, what is going on? Okay, there we go. It says, excuse me. So, tour fees are used to offset transportation and overhead costs. All tour bookings subjected to possible cancellation or changes at airport airline security concerns change significantly by the airliner's ATL showtimes, or if minimum tour booking participants are not met. Note, all tour attendees must be registered delegates for Airlines 2025, either $7 or $150 option. We're available to offer tours for registered delegates to enhance your Airlines International experience. No charges to tours of the Delta and ATL Ram tours after 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time, on Friday, June 20th, as all names and ID information must be furnished in advance to our hosts for security clearances. We can add or remove attendees from our other tours subjected to availability. So yeah, that's kind of like your rundown on the tours. So yeah, I'll probably talk about on what tours I'm planning on going to at the end of this video. So yeah, and as we move on downwards, we have confirmed the following tours for Airlines International 2025, and then these are like the lists I mentioned before. And then you can see all the various like tour participants right there. So of course you'll be having your tours on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, and kind of like a little bit on Saturdays. Yeah, there's like a little less tours on a Saturday, but you'll just be getting the DC Suite tour. So yeah. And then here are the lottery tip rules. So like the lottery tool rules. So let me read this paragraph to you all. Due to the limited capacity of the ATL Ram Tour, Delta Tech-Outs, and Delta Training Center tours, we'll be running a lottery space, like a lottery system for spaces on these tours. Use your registration sign-in and select the tours you wish to enter the lottery for. The lottery tour will have a $0 fee value. Each tour lottery will be picked from the selective list in chronological order of tour departure. To allow maximum tour participation, if you are picked for a tour, your name will be removed for subsequent drawings. The tour lotteries will be run on May 31st. You'll then receive an email if you are lottery picked on any tours, and you have 4 days to confirm your tour space and have the tour fees charged to your registered account. So yeah, so again, as mentioned before, you're kind of like, it's kind of like lottery in a way, like you're scratching something on a card and then wait for this number to be called, and if you get those numbers, then you pretty much win the jackpot. It's something similar to this. So you're basically like, you're registering yourself to book on these tours, but because of the limited spaces, they're gonna like draw the lottery. So who knows what tour I'm gonna be on. So yeah, so we have to wait until May 31st, and then if I'm selected on one of those tours, then I'll be sent out an email, and I need to do the final, pretty much the final registrants and all the fees that I'm gonna be paying for that said tour. So yeah, I'll basically just have to find out what tour I'll be on May 31st, and then probably within the next couple of weeks leading into Airliners International, then I'll be pretty much, or probably in the next newsletter, I'll talk about what tours I'll be going on, and then kind of like the plan. Well, I'll talk about the tours that I'm planning on going on in today's video, but probably on my plan for Airliners International 2025 video, I'll be talking about the tours I'll be going to. Did you join us at Airliners 2024 in Kansas City? All registered for Airliners 2025? This is kind of like basically for like registered. I think please follow the steps for accessing your registration. Okay, I think this is kind of like talking about the list. So step 1 is to log into your registered from this link, registrations, and then view details, edit, and then that's how you basically do your tours. How you added your tours. I did that for Kansas City as well. And here's like a picture from the Kimpton Hotel right there. So as you can see, facing this side of ATL Airport. And then here is your special room rate. I already talked about this, but you can pause and read if you want to read this in a full paragraph. You got the World Airlines Historical Society logo right there. Overview of ATL Airport, and then the Renaissance Hotel. And then this is kind of like talking about the booking links and special room rates. Once again, they'll be expired on May 28th for the Renaissance Hotel and June 2nd for the Kimpton Hotel. And it says, thank you for your support for our official show hotels. And then here's the ATL Airliners flyer right there. That's the front, and here is the back side. So you can download this and kind of like have this displayed at your local airport or local town, I guess. And then of course you got your other airliner shows. So yeah, no need to go over too much. You got the biannual LAX show on August 16th, Cleveland Airline Collectible Show on August 23rd, Newark and NY Area Airline Show on September 6th, SFO Memorabilia Show on September 20th, MSP One Day Show on October 11th, Vancouver Aviation Collectible Fair on October 26th. Did I mention the Atlanta? Okay, I'm not there. Houston Airline Collectible Show in November, Vancouver. Yeah, there was supposed to be a Atlanta show. I'm not sure what happened there, but I guess it's not there for some reason. Like the Atlanta One Day Show, not sure why that's not there. And of course, you got the Houston Airline Collectible Show on November 1st of 2025. I think I already mentioned that already. You got the Frankfurt Airline Collectible Fair on November 8th of 2025. And then, of course, you got our 2026 show, which will be the Amsterdam Aviation Collectible Fair. And here, well, I think this shows the entire message. Oh my god, I don't want to mention. Sorry, I had to like pretty much like blur that out because I believe I had some of my personal information listed there. So these are kind of like the full rundown of the list right there. And yeah, or I think, yeah, we got a couple more. So, oh yeah, I do want to mention about this. Well, I'll go over just to make sure that I see everything. Okay, that's everything. But I do want to say that we have our location for Airliners International 2026, which will be in Denver, Colorado, which will be from June 24th to the 27th of 2026. And it's really cool because this will be the 50th, well, quote-unquote 50th Airliners International Convention. Convention information and register details will be available in early July 2025 at Airliners International. We are looking forward to celebrate our golden anniversary with you in Denver. And then you can see all the listings right there. Thank you for your continued support on our hobby at WAS by attending these shows. So yeah, looking forward on Denver's show for their 50th anniversary. Well, quote unquote again, 50th annual Airliners International, because like they had to like skip out on 2020 because of the pandemic. So this could technically be their 49th year. But yeah, this is their first airliner show in Denver since 2017, and the first time in the West Coast since 2021 with Phoenix, which I think that's like the closest to the West Coast. So it's really nice to have them back at Denver. And yeah, once again, the convention will be on from June 24th to the 27th of 2026, and the registration details will be available on early July 2025. So looking forward to that collectible show. So yeah, that's it for this newsletter. I know it's like 35 minutes into the video, but again, I'm recording at the night of May 24th, and this is probably going out on Monday the 26th. But I'm super excited for those tours, and yeah, looking forward on hopefully getting those tours booked in. But overall, really nice to see that Airliners International 2025 has finally have the tours open. And yeah, looking forward on what tours I'll be attending. And speaking of that, I do want to mention on what tours I'll be going to, or like more in particular what I'm planning on going to. So for Wednesday, I did reserve a Spot 40 Airliners Ram Tour. So that's like one of the tours I'm planning on going. Well, I'm not going to tell you what time it was, but I know obviously I'm planning on attending that ATL Ram Tour. Like once again, there is a limit of 25 participants, so who knows if I'll be booked on this tour or not. The next tour I'm planning on technically going is either the Delta Pilot Training Center or the Delta Tech Ops Center. It's really cool to like learn about like what they do with their technical operations and kind of like how they train their pilots. So I might try to book a spot. Once again, Delta Tech Ops, Delta Pilot Training, and ATL Tour are on a lottery system. So who knows if I'll be on those tours, but I'm planning on taking those tours as well. And if possible, I'm planning on doing like the Delta Flight Museum DC-3 tour, because like I do want to learn the history about like this particular plane in Delta Airlines' historical fleet. So it'll be nice to do that. Now as for the museum, the Aviation Museum in Warner Robins, Georgia, that's my initial plan, but as you can see by the time, it departs at 9 a.m. and it'll return to the Renaissance at 5 p.m. So yeah, I have a feeling it for some people, I think that might interfere with people who booked the Ram Tour on that day, but yeah, it's gonna be something that's on a 50-50 for some people, but for me, I think I'll just pass on this one. I mean, I wish I can go there to go to that museum, but the past Airliners tours I did, I went to a museum, so I think this could be the first time for me at Airliners that I won't be doing a tour on a museum, so it's gonna be different for this year, but yeah. But overall, hopefully I can reserve a spot at the ATL Ram Tour alongside the Delta Tech Ops and Delta Pilot Training Center. And yeah, I just have to wait after May 31st to see if either of my tours have been booked. But yeah, that is it for today's video. So I'm looking forward on when the next WAS email will be coming in regards to AI 2025, and I'm just looking forward to hopefully attend those tours. So yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I'm just looking forward to this convention. Once again, we are less than 30 days away, and I'm just super excited. And yes, yesterday I did post my I think I already told you that I was gonna be going to Airliners International because of the announcement video from yesterday. So yeah, I'll be attending Airliners International 2025 at Atlanta, Georgia, and I can't wait to see you guys there. Feel free to stop by, say hi, take some pictures, and all that stuff. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to this convention, and it's really nice to be in Atlanta once again after getting like a full taste of ATL during my Airlines 2024 trip. So yeah, it's really nice to stay in that particular place at the world's busiest airport for 3 days straight. So that's it for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and turn on the post notification bell so you won't miss a new video like this from me anytime soon. And yeah, make sure to stay updated with WAS, and then from me also, and then some of the other community, like other YouTubers who talk about Airliners International 2025 as well. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Good night.